Welcome back to Andy's Treasure Trove. This is episode 14 of the podcast. This episode is a very special episode, partly because it's going to be a very short episode due to some feedback I got from listeners with extra busy lives who requested some shorter episodes. So this will be a brief trifle, a little gift to you from me for your holiday enjoyment. We're going to hear from Orson Welles in a couple of minutes, as he will be struggling to record some television commercials. But first, I wanted to announce the winner of the contest for the Apple iPod that was based on the name of Manny Roth's homemade bread. Remember that?
Well, when I bake it, I give it to my kids. I can either drink it or I can bake it. And when I bake it, they call it fart bread.
Thanks.
Fart bread.
To all of you.
Fart bread.
Fart bread.
Who entered.
Fart bread. Fart bread.
Here's a recording I made of the drawing for the winner. I'm joined temporarily by my temporary assistant, who is going to help me draw the winning name from this gorgeous Chinese-inspired lacquered and inlaid tray, which has several little pieces of white paper folded up into eighths. And I'm going to ask you, sir, just to pick one of them, unfold it, and read me the name written on it.
And the winner is Becky.
Becky. I know Becky.
This is Becky calling from Ventura, California. I just listened to your most recent episode of your Treasure Trove podcast, and the interview with Manny Roth was absolutely fantastic. I would like to enter the contest. I do believe the bread is called fart bread, if I did not mishear it.
Let's call Becky.
Hello?
Hello, Becky. It's Andy Moore from Andy's Treasure Trove.
Hi, Andy. How are you?
I'm good. I have a compelling reason to be calling you.
Yes?
You are the winner of the Andy's Treasure Trove iPod.
I'm so excited.
Now, what's your favorite podcast?
Well, Andy's Treasure Trove, of course.
So now,
Yes.
Do you remember what the secret word was?
I do believe you're going to make me say it, aren't you? Fart bread?
Thanks for listening to the show, Becky, and for entering my contest. Now on to the 4-minute-long main course of this episode. This is a recording that was sent to me by a listener. I also found it online on YouTube, but this version is much higher quality than the one you can find on YouTube. After listening to it, I hope you'll go to your phone and call my listener call-in line, 415-508-4084, to let us all know what you think. And now, imagine that you're a fly on the wall of a recording studio where filmmaking genius Orson Welles is recording narration for TV commercials and not having a very easy time of it.
We know a remote farm in Lincolnshire where Mrs. Buckley lives. Every July, peas grow there. Do you really mean that?
Yeah, so in other words, I'd start half a second late.
Don't you think you really want to say July over the snow? Isn't that the fun of it?
If you can make it almost when that shot disappears, it'll make my...
I think it's so nice that you see a snow-covered field and say every July peas grow there. We know a remote farm in Lincolnshire where Mrs. Buckley lives. Every July, peas grow there. We aren't even in the fields, you see.
Yeah, we are.
We're talking about them growing, and she's picked them.
Yeah.
On what?
In July.
I don't understand you then. What must be over for July?
When we get out of that snowy field.
When I was out, we were onto a can of peas, a big dish of peas when I said in July.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes, always.
In July.
I'm always past that.
You are.
Yes. Well, that's about where I say in July.
Could you emphasize a bit in July?
Why? That doesn't make any sense. Sorry. There's no known way of saying an English sentence in which you begin a sentence with in and emphasize it. Get me a jury and show me how you can say in July, and I'll go down on you. That's just idiotic, if you'll forgive me by saying so. That's just stupid. In July. I'd love to know how you emphasize in and in July. Impossible. Meaningless.
I think all they were thinking about was that they didn't want to.
He isn't thinking.
Wilson, can we just do one last
Yeah?
one? And it was my fault. I said in July, if you can leave every July.
You didn't say it. He said it.
It's every July.
Your friend.
Fraction later.
Every July?
So after this show...
No, you don't really mean every July.
It is.
But that's bad copy. It's in July. Of course it's every July. Too much directing around here. Norway. Fish fingers, Findus, Norway. We know a certain fjord in Norway, near where the cod gather in great shoals. There, Jan Stangeland. Shit.
A fraction more on that shoals thing, because you rolled it around very nicely.
Yeah, roll it around and I have no more time. You don't know what I'm up against. Because it's full of things that are only correct because they're grammatical, but they're tough on the ear. You see, this is a very wearying one. It's unpleasant to read. Unrewarding. Because Findus freeze the cod at sea and then add a crumb crisp coating. That's tough, crumb crisp coating. I think, no, because of the way it's written, you need to break it up because it's not as conversationally written. What?
Take crumb out.
Take crumb out. Good. Here under protest is beef burgers. We know a little place in the American far west where Charlie Briggs chops up the finest prairie-fed beef and tastes... This is a lot of shit, you know that. You want one more?
Yeah,
more on what, beef?
You missed the first beef, actually, completely.
What do you mean missed it?
You're emphasizing prairie-fed.
But you can't emphasize beef. That's like his wanting me to emphasize in before July. Come on, fellas, you're losing your heads. Right. I wouldn't direct any living actor like this in Shakespeare. Well, you do this. It's impossible.
Orson, you did 6 last year, and by far and away the best, and I know the reason.
The right reading for this is the one I'm giving it.
At the moment.
I spent 20 times more for you people than any other commercial I've ever made. You are such pests. Now, what is it you want?
No, I think...
In your depths of your ignorance, what is it you want? Whatever it is you want, I can't deliver because I just don't see it.
That was absolutely fine. It really was.
It isn't worth it. No money is worth it.
And there you have it. Please give a call to 415-508-4084 to leave a comment on Mr. Wells or anything else you'd like. That number, once again, is 415-508-4084. My next episode, episode 15, will feature the return of Candace Roberts. Subscribe to my show on iTunes, and please visit andystreasuretrove.com. I'm always adding new photos, videos, and collages and other things that I hope you'll enjoy. Thanks and happy holidays from me and the entire staff of Andy's Treasure Trove and Treasure Trove Productions. See you next year. Stay warm. All rights reserved. Andy Moore and Treasure Trove Productions.
Thank you. Goodbye.